these two are going to try to convince me to take my motorcycle course.
First, before we convince you to take your motorcycle course, what do you have against motorcycles, Pat?
I don't have, you know what? If of all the power sports, I think motorcycles are the ones that I'd be most interested. I like bicycles, and I like the feel of the wind on a bike. And I imagine a motorcycle is just that, but at car speeds.
Yes, but does it scare you?
It does.
It does scare you. And that's the reason why you should take the course.
Or like, okay, what would you say to somebody who's like on the fence about getting into motorcycles?
Take the course.
Yeah.
If you're on the fence of doing of driving a motorcycle, you should definitely take the course. So that way you'll get a little bit of a first-hand experience. The first courses are all low-speed stuff in a parking lot, but those are the things that aren't very intuitive unless you've ever driven a motorcycle. There's some natural things happening, but in those courses they point it out. And motorcycles is all about confidence. So
Very true.
yeah, so if you're confident through that course, then you're great. If the course was a bad experience, maybe stick to a car.
So what experiences, Kevin? You've probably seen people who bought a motorcycle and then were scared shitless of it.
Absolutely.
So what are the consequences of that?
Well, the consequences are, you falling and getting, and just...
See, that scares the shit out of me. Like, you're
Well,
going 120 kilometers an hour.
No. At that point, when you're going 120 kilometers an hour, you've learned something.
Okay.
Usually, it's, you got your bike, you're playing around, the parking lot. You turn too tight, you hit the front brake. You end up falling, and it's like, shit.
Yep.
I don't like this. I've seen that.
So just falling like in a driveway.
In a driveway.
That doesn't
It's
sound
going to
very
be low.
scary.
No, it's not very scary. But
mean, you could hurt yourself
But it's
probably,
frustrating enough.
It's insulting.
Yes, that's very true. The next thing
Especially if your ego is kind of fragile.
that's right.
Yeah.
Now, I've seen, people who don't really learn enough from like the bike courses. They go to one or two classes. I know how that thing works, and they don't know the dynamics of using their body for maneuvering the bike.
Wait just a second. How?
Like this, You gotta get in there. You gotta flow with it. Yeah, that's like that. Hey,
All right. Okay.
So those are all the wonderful things you learn in the course. For example, camera steering.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you want to turn left, Pat, which way do you think you got to turn the handlebars?
Like that?
No.
I'm going left.
Yeah.
This isn't like
But you only want to turn it left when you're slow speeds. When you're high speed, you actually want to turn it right a bit. So that's going to help you lean the motorcycle.
And these are the things you learn. The dynamics of the bike.
Yeah.
Okay, but like how much of this stuff is kind of intuitive? You get the feel for it when you're on the bike.
A lot.
Yes.
A lot is intuitive.
Yeah.
So if you're not fighting it and you're letting yourself stay calm, most of riding a bike is very intuitive.
Yeah.
If you're trying to figure out what to do in your brain, you're gonna go straight. So
Yeah.
it's just that's what ended up happening. So the main thing that we should note why you should take the motorcycle course, if that's what we're trying to convince you to do right now, is that go learn the basics. The
How
stuff,
to shift.
how to shift. The other thing too is you've driven a car all your life. Do you know how to operate the front and the rear brakes separately and why?
Well,
which
like,
one's going to be
like
better?
on a bicycle.
Yeah, and do you
Like
know
this
what are the
slant.
consequences of each?
Well, yes, if you slam the front brakes, you're going to go forward.
Yes.
It's just going to stop and you're going to get launched. I remember doing that on your BMX. And
My-
I got launched, and we did wrestling when I was a kid, and I launched, but then I rolled.
Yeah.
And I got out and I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm
Cool.
amazing.
Yeah.
Couldn't do that today.
I might, and I probably could not do that on a motorcycle going much faster than just me driving down the driveway.
There is a viral video where the guy rear ends a car and he lands on his feet on the guy's roof.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
that looks like Spider-Man
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Like,
But he probably that's a freak accident. Like most of the
Yeah.
times, if you rear end somebody, you're not landing on your feet. You're landing underneath his wheels or something.
You don't want to rear end anybody.
Yeah.
Like on the bike,
like ever.
you wanna stay safe. You wanna have fun.
Yes.
And
So what are the kind of like stupid things that people do that they're getting into an accident other than just like being completely reckless and driving, 160 when everybody else is going 80?
I think it's the nerves. That's the most dangerous part. Is you got to be able to ride calm and not panic.
That's
so
it.
Something's going to happen. You just got to respond fluidly. As soon as you stiffen up, you're going straight. Like
Oh,
you're
yeah.
not. It's just that's done. If you have to turn, it doesn't matter. You're going straight. And then you whiskey throttles. You go faster.
that's right.
Yeah, you're going straight faster. So
It's straight and fast. Yeah.
yeah.
Because like you could get some pretty. It's more dangerous to ride a motorcycle than it is to ride a car.
Yes,
Well, just because of the level of protection.
that's right.
But
Like, because you're just like it's just you and that's it. And
yeah,
And there's certain things to be said about being free.
yeah.
With
So
the wind blowing through your hair.
so I think that's where we should do it a little bit differently.
The wind blowing through what hair?
I'm working on it.
So what would you say, Kevin, is the reason you drive a motorcycle? What is the main reason that you enjoy the motorcycle? That's what's going to convince you.
And because you've fallen off motorcycles, you've hurt yourself.
Oh, yes.
You've had bad experiences, and
Yeah.
and yet you still
I
like
keep riding.
that's all you do. You fix motorcycles. You ride motorcycles. You talk about motorcycles.
Yeah. I've always loved motorcycles. I've always, from a very early age, my mother, like, she would cringe. But what I really love writing about motorcycles is that I'm free. Like, let's put it this way. I meet all my gods on the back of a bike. That's the way I look at it. And just that freedom,
We're
that's...
trying to convince them. Don't scare
yes.
them.
No, not scare him. I mean,
Okay.
okay. I mean, who
That's
knows?
just start hallucinating
I mean,
gods
I
on the
mean-
side of the road.
I mean, like, what comes
Hello,
into the
Thor.
mind, I mean, now like back in the early days, there was no radios. There was no headsets. There was no radios mounted on your bike. So when I got on the back of a bike, it was just me and my head and that corner coming up and me going too fast. And I just enjoyed the sheer exhilaration of
So
power.
the adrenaline rush.
The adrenaline rush.
So I think, like, if I was going to give my perspective of how to say what do I like to do on a motorcycle, I think it's just the best place to have a conversation with yourself. It lines up your thoughts and
Absolutely, yeah.
everything. It's you're in the elements, so the smells, the currents of air, the wind, you get to feel all of that, and it's just a nice place to be. Really,
So
honestly.
you guys are all like, this is some very hippie stuff going on.
Oh,
so
no,
you guys
but-
are talking about but in a good way. I mean,
Yeah.
like you're like it's like meditative.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah,
honestly.
But I'm not.
yeah.
I'm not. Well, I am
Versus
kinda
like,
poking fun.
I like riding my side by side that's really fast because eventually you zone in where you're paying attention to nothing else but what you're doing and you're able to block everything out. So it's very, very clear. Versus the bike is the same thing but in a little bit of a different light where you're just you're in this space where you're exposed to everything. Yet it's a perfect place to be. Honestly,
And I'm gonna add one more thing to that. The faster you go,
yeah. The more that zone gets,
that's right.
Yeah.
The less of that zone there is.
yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
to convince you that
Like
you
Pat-
should ride a bike,
He's not a speed demon.
he's not a
So-
speed demon, but
No, I get scared
But-
past
no,
120,
Which
like
is fine.
130 kilometers an hour is
Which is fine.
Fine, but
But-
besides that, I
once
mean,
you have a bike, there's no place where you can't park. That's
True.
number one.
True.
all right.
Right? And you'll never have anything greater between your legs. Now contemplate that.
We'll just leave that one hanging there.
Yeah, that's right.
Just take a moment.
Yeah.
Digest that.
Yeah. Well, you touched on before that weird part. You touched on some very practical things, like especially like you work downtown.
Yeah.
Well, getting around with a bike downtown, you could go all over the place.
They have those little electric scooters you can rent. They're really fun.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
It's not a motorcycle.
Oh, you can get around easy everywhere. Just, they're fun. Wind in
Yeah.
your hair. There's a helmet.
I wouldn't consider that a motorcycle.
Yeah.
I'm not
But,
saying it's a motorcycle. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But I mean, like that's probably like when you look at like some densely populated places in the world.
Yeah.
And you got all these
It-
little
it's
mopeds
practical.
zipping around everywhere.
That's
and,
right.
like,
It's the
people,
cheapest
like
mode of transportation.
bumping
it.
onto one another.
And like the other thing that I like doing might be a little bit dumb, I guess, but like you could get a feeling of flight I don't know if you know what I mean.
Yes.
But because of all the movements and you're leaning and everything, you literally get a feeling of flight, like you're flying. And then on my bike that has electronic cruise control, what I like to do is I stand on the bike, I put the cruise control on, and then you let go of the handlebars. So if your eyes are open, I can't see the motorcycle, yet I'm going and I'm not holding on to anything.
Do you put your arms out?
No, I don't Titanic it. No. But Leonardo DiCaprio is not behind me holding me. And
No. If he
Celine
was,
Dion is
though, would
not
you?
singing.
If he was.
Yeah, I would.
Oh,
All right.
there you go.
So if
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio is
Just because
sitting,
I'm better balanced. That's the only reason.
Well,
you
let's
know?
put it this way. Someone told me that the closest thing to flying is riding a motorcycle. Your horizons,
I agree.
like Jeremy says, is constantly changing, and you use your hands and feet to
And-
control the
And
bike.
that's what you lose on a trike. That's
Yeah.
what you lose on a spider is that flight sensation of leaning in a corner and then going up, and it's much more dynamic, much more involved than driving a car. And you know, to talk about what I was talking about earlier, like the smells and sounds and the currents of air, like even in the summer when it's 21 degrees outside, it's a nice day, you've got pockets of cold air, you've got pockets of hot air, and you know that, okay, I'm coming to a tree line, boom, I get that, you feel so much more what's going on, you know. And even driving by a smelly farm, it's kind of nice, you know. There you go, that's the smell, that's what it's gonna smell like. Or at night, when the night just drops and the temperature drops, that is a nice time to ride. You remember that ride we did at like 2 a.m. when we fixed those stupid
yes,
Harleys?
yes,
So we
yes.
fixed 2 Harley Davidsons and we went around, but on the Quebec side, so Quebec is just a little north of us, but we can see it. There was a huge thunderstorm, but we were driving the bikes and the moon was like super lit. It was crazy cool. Like it was just a nice ride. It would have been nicer to be on a better bike.
See,
but,
that's so like there's no barrier between you and the elements, right?
That's right.
So
Yeah.
like that's something that appeals to me. Like and that's what appeals to me for like, you know, I enjoy hiking, I enjoy riding my bicycle. Like these are things that like the reason I enjoy it is just you're out there in the elements. But this is I enjoy going for rides, like driving around. It's just my minivan probably doesn't have the same.
no.
I like my minivan though.
And there's another huge part that should definitely convince you to drive a motorcycle. You know what it is, Kev? You know what I'm thinking?
Friends.
Community.
I saw that.
Yeah.
If you drive a bike, you instantly have a connection with someone else driving a bike.
That's
Doesn't
right.
matter what kind of bike.
Yeah, like they say hi. Like
Yeah.
I do that for fun. So I'm riding my minivan and I'll cross like a motorcycle and I'll wave to them. They never wave back.
No.
But if there's two guys on a motorcycle and they like wave to one another and you're like, all right, I guess that's a thing.
Yeah.
But you can have a conversation. Anybody who likes motorcycles, it's almost like you just know, okay, that guy gets it. You know, like there's not much needs to be said, but you kind of know you both get it, and that's it. You know, like people who ride bikes are definitely superior than other people.
So what's one of the experiences, Kevin, that you would have had where you got the most sense of community from riding bikes? Like, I don't know, like an epic trip or something?
Yeah. Like heading to Laconia.
Okay.
Okay.
Where's
where-
that?
That's New Hampshire. Down there.
Okay.
Vermont, New Hampshire, down there. So anyway, like it's about 6 of us on bikes, and we're riding down there. And then when you get there, it's just a village of motorcycles.
I thought you were going to say a village of people.
No, this is a village of motorcycles. Like every bike you can think of is there. And yes, the
Who
people
was
are there.
singing YMCA?
Yeah,
Like,
no,
that's what he was
no,
getting
well,
at.
no one,
Not
no village people,
All right.
nothing. No,
a village of motorcycles.
But like every bike is there. Now that is a sense of motorcycle community. Let's put it this way.
It's a sense of
Yeah.
belonging.
Of belong.
If you show up there on a bike versus a minivan,
Yeah.
you belong there on your motorcycle. You don't belong there on your
The
minivan.
minivan. That's
Yeah.
right.
I could though.
Yeah.
I just show up and be like,
But it,
motorcycles, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But
Park right in
whether
between.
whether you're the guy who likes to ride alone, likes to ride in a group, likes to ride with just a few select friends, there's a universal understanding of community with motorcycles.
Now, do I have to know something about motorcycles?
No, you got to know how to drive.
Because
it.
like if I
gotta know how to drive
But
it.
if I like pull up and then like I am not. You two are those guys that'll stand around a machine and talk about machines. I am not. Like I don't.
You know
I don't
what?
I'm
Depending
talking
what bike you get, just know about that bike and you'll be good.
Yeah.
All right.
We can make you like little flashcards that you can grab, and you can like, hey, you're asking me a question about my bike. Just wait a second.
Just a minute.
And then you can grab those out of your little backpack. And you're like, go ahead. I've got my fact sheet here. So we'll set you up with that. So, out of all that, Pat, do you think that's enough to convince you to go take your motorcycle course?
I mean, like, I'm on the fence anyways. Like, then it's just a matter of like, you know, it's a third vehicle I'm gonna own, insurance, but that's boring stuff. So we're just gonna skip that because that's my own personal finances, and nobody wants to hear about that.
yeah,
So
your heart should lead the answer.
your heart, not your wallet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yep. So that was our way to try to convince Pat here to do the motorcycle course. I think we're going to get there with a little bit more pushing and shoving. I'm Jeremy from Pink Orange. That was Pat. This is Kevin, the Motorcycle Guru. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and give us some words of encouragement here for Patty Boy.
Yeah, let us know what your experience was and how you got into motorcycles, why you love it, and yeah, what do you think about Kevin here? No, don't.
Just ruggish and good looking.
We'll see you next time.